Somewhere right now, a guy named Alex is asleep. No alarm, no laptop open, no client calls, no notifications lighting up his phone. And while he sleeps, money is still landing in his account. Not from stocks, not from crypto, not from some secret side hustle you saw on TikTok last week. It's coming from a laundromat, a parking lot, and a handful of vending machines he barely thinks about anymore. Today I'm breaking down 8 boring businesses that quietly generate serious income. How much they cost to start, roughly what they can pay out, and why almost nobody bothers competing for them. None of these will ever trend on social media. None of them come with a slick pitch deck or a founder story people want to retell at a party. And that's the entire reason they still work. Stick around for number 1, because it's not really a business at all. It's the one idea that ties every single item on this list together. And once you see it, you genuinely can't unsee it in anything you look at again. Quick thing before we start. None of these are get-rich-quick ideas. They're slow, unglamorous, and honestly kind of embarrassing to bring up at a dinner party. I own a parking lot doesn't sound impressive. But that's exactly why it works. When something looks boring on the surface, most people scroll right past it, which means less competition for the small number of people actually willing to do it. Let's get into the list, starting with the easiest one to copy this weekend. Business 8. Pressure washing. Start here if you have almost no starting capital. A decent commercial pressure washer runs somewhere between $1,500 and $4,000, less than a used car. And your customers are genuinely everywhere. Dirty sidewalks, storefronts, driveways, parking garages, apartment complexes. The trick isn't chasing one-off jobs from random homeowners. It's signing annual contracts with property managers and commercial buildings. So the same client pays you on a schedule, instead of you hunting for a brand new customer every single week. Demand barely moves with the economy either. When times are good, homeowners want their place looking sharp for guests. When times are tight, commercial landlords are often contractually obligated to keep the property presentable anyway. Either way, someone's paying to get the grime off a wall. And the barrier to entry is almost entirely psychological, not financial. There's no license most areas require, no franchise fee, no employees needed to get started. The only real obstacle is that it looks like manual labor rather than a real business, which is exactly why so few people with any business ambition ever bother trying it. Business 7. Vending machines. Forget the vending machines from your old school hallway. Modern ones take card and mobile payments, track inventory automatically, and can be monitored entirely from your phone. No site visit required, unless you're actually restocking product. A single well-placed machine, a gym, an office break room, a factory floor, can generate a few $100s a month in pure profit, depending on foot traffic. But here's the real business model. It's not about selling snacks. It's about finding empty corners that were making the property owner exactly $0 a month, and quietly turning them into a small rent check for you instead. One machine feels like a hobby. 50 machines on a scheduled restocking route is a business you barely have to touch. Run by someone who treats it like a logistics problem, not a snack problem. Business 6. ATM ownership. This one pairs almost perfectly with the last idea. You buy a machine, Place it somewhere with heavy foot traffic and limited cash access. Bars, laundromats, small corner stores, local markets, and you collect a small fee every time someone withdraws. You're not selling a product. You're solving an invisible, everyday annoyance. People needing cash in a place that simply doesn't have any nearby. And if you've already got a vending machine sitting in that same location, you've effectively turned one stop on your route into two separate income streams without adding a single extra mile of driving. Business 5. Self-storage. Rental homes and apartments keep getting smaller. People keep accumulating more stuff. That mismatch, on its own, is basically the entire self-storage industry summed up in one sentence. And it explains why the sector keeps expanding, year after year, city after city. What's genuinely interesting is who's renting these units today. It's not just families in between moves anymore. A fast-growing share of renters are small e-commerce sellers, using cheap storage units as makeshift overflow warehouses instead of paying for full commercial space. Storage quietly became small business infrastructure, and most people still picture it as a dusty place to keep old furniture. Business 4. Pest control. Nobody wants to think about this business, which is exactly why it barely loses customers once it has them. Once you sign a monthly maintenance contract with a restaurant, apartment building, or medical office, it tends to renew itself automatically because no business owner wants to gamble on a failed health inspection. That flips the usual sales dynamic on its head. Most businesses have to work hard to convince a customer to buy. Pest control customers show up already convinced because the cost of skipping the contract is a shutdown kitchen, an angry landlord, or an infestation. Nobody wants to explain to their guests. Think about the negotiating power that creates. Most businesses spend money convincing someone they even have a problem worth solving. This one skips that step entirely because the customer already knows exactly what happens if they don't pay. Business 3. Coin laundromats. One of the most studied boring businesses in the country, and for good reason. Laundromats have remarkably high survival rates compared to almost any other small business. Restaurants come and go, but people wash clothes in every economy, every season, every passing trend. That kind of stability is genuinely rare. The bigger secret is what surrounds the washing machines themselves. Snack and drink, vending in the corner. Business 2. Parking lots. Possibly the most boring business on this entire list. And that's exactly the point. A well-located lot in a busy commercial or event district can bring in serious monthly income, with almost no ongoing operating cost. No inventory to restock, no staff smiling at customers all day, no product to sell, just an empty patch of land and people willing to pay for a few hours of it. Business 1. Recurring revenue in any form. Here's number 1, and it's not actually a business. It's the pattern quietly hiding inside every single business on this list. The real difference between building lasting wealth and staying stuck forever isn't which idea you pick. It's whether that idea pays you once or pays you again and again, every month, without you having to sell it twice. Sell something once, and you get paid once. That's the laundromat, the storage unit, the pest control contract, and the ATM, all wearing different outfits, but running on the exact same engine underneath. So next time an idea crosses your mind, ask one question before anything else. Does this pay me once? Or does it pay me every single month? That one filter alone eliminates most bad ideas before you waste a year chasing them. None of these 8 businesses are exciting. If one of these surprised you, hit like. It genuinely helps this reach more people thinking about the exact same question. And drop a comment below. Which of these 8 would you actually consider starting? I read every single one.